The coronavirus crisis has put many people around the world in a difficult financial situation, and experts are searching for a way to help. Even Pope Francis, in an Easter Sunday message, suggested that now may be the time for a universal basic income. Here to talk more about this option is Catholic Economist at St. John's University, Charles Clark. And Charles, the pontiff describes the goal of universal basic income as, quote, so human and so Christian. But is this goal realistic?
Well, it's something that all rich countries could afford. It's just a matter of taking part of our overall income and dividing it equally, say at the poverty level, so that no one falls below the poverty level. Normally that's done because you want to fight income inequality or because the economy is going through a lot of transitions because of technological change. But now with the coronavirus, with so many people being affected, then it's a way to make sure that no one becomes incomeless and gets thrown into poverty because of how we are fighting the virus.
So how would something like that happen? What would universal basic income look like in America?
Well, it would be you could do it every citizen or every adult. Most proposals have one rate for adults set at what the poverty level is, and so you get a check every month, probably go straight into your bank account, and then there'd be a lesser amount for how many children you have in your family.
What if you make a lot of money? Would you still get that money?
Well, the idea of a universal basic income is that everyone gets it. And so there's no income threshold. However, when you pay for it, obviously people who pay higher incomes will contribute more to the system than people with lower incomes.
Through your taxes?
Yes.
Now, would the world economy, including its financial institutions, perhaps be in better shape if universal basic income systems were already in place when this crisis struck? What do you think about that?
Well, it would, because it allows you to absorb the shock of all these people now not having incomes. You have the effect of people losing their jobs, which is terrible, but losing their jobs, which is an important part of who we are, and losing your ability to pay your bills and support your families, it just makes it doubly worse. And particularly with our main weapon in fighting this virus is having people not work and stay home, then we have to support all those people that we are telling you need to stay home so that we can get a hold of this virus.
So how about in the developing world? You mentioned rich countries. Is UBI even possible in poor countries?
Well, it's interesting. When I started working on this, I thought that poor countries couldn't afford it, but it actually has been successfully integrated in many poor countries, very successfully. In Mexico, they had a family income. There was some criteria. Children had to go to school and go to the doctors once a year, but it had a big effect on reducing poverty, and they had similar one in Brazil. They now have experiments running in Africa, and they're showing that not only are you reducing poverty, but you're increasing health outcomes, and people are working more because they're able to leave jobs that aren't making much and go to other areas. They're able to start new businesses because now they have some money, so they have security that they can try going out on their own. And so it's probably a better policy for developing countries than it is for rich countries.
So really quickly, do you think we're at the point where this universal basic income goes from being a fantasy to being looked at as a viable economic path forward?
Well, I think if this virus is going to be like the 1918 pandemic and it's going to last 2 years, I think we will have to adopt something like this. And I think once we adopt it, it will become permanent. The state of Alaska already has a basic income. It's based on the oil revenues. It's called the Permanent Fund. It is the most popular government program in the United States, because I've never met anyone who doesn't like getting a check every month. It's very popular. So once you start it, it will be hard to phase it out.
All right. Thank you so much, Catholic Economist at St. John's University, Charles Clark. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Thank you.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.